Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a massive federal mandate and looking at how it actually works on the ground in one of the most geographically unique states in the whole country. We're talking about balancing super strict national standards with the wild reality of an island archipelago. It's honestly a fascinating look at what happens when federal policy collides with extreme geography.
So to get started, let's just ask the central question that defines this whole puzzle. How do you guarantee safety in a prison system separated by the Pacific Ocean? Seriously, think about it. When federal law demands immediate action, but your facilities are literally divided by miles of deep water, the logistical hurdles are just unlike anywhere else in the US.
To figure this out, we're going to break this down into a few parts. First, what exactly is PREA? Then, we'll look at Hawaii's specific landscape, the logistical puzzle of the islands, the core elements of the program, why it's more than just a certificate, and finally, what's really at stake here.
All right, part one. What is PREA? Let's establish the federal baseline. PREA stands for the Prison Rape Elimination Act. It's a sweeping federal law designed to prevent, detect, and respond to sexual abuse and harassment in confinement settings. Basically, the Hawaii Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation has to maintain a strict zero-tolerance policy based right on this law. And it applies to everything: jails, prisons, community centers, lockups, the whole shebang. They've got to publish their policies and regular reports for the staff, the people inside, and the general public.
But what does that actually look like on a Tuesday, right? Well, the U.S. Department of Justice has some incredibly rigorous standards. We're talking prevention planning, mandatory staff training, risk screening, confidential reporting, official investigations, discipline, plus immediate medical and mental health care. So compliance isn't just checking a box. It's totally operational and cultural. Facilities have to build these robust, everyday habits to actually reduce risk. It's a complete operational ecosystem.
Moving on to part two, Hawaii's landscape. Let's really understand the scope of this.
8. That's the magic number here. There are exactly 8 primary facilities in the state's system, split right down the middle, 4 jails and 4 prisons. So when we talk about executing these intense federal PREA standards, we're talking about making it happen inside these 8 specific locations spread across the islands. Now the real challenge? It's the stark contrast between these places. The 4 jails, located in Hawaii, Kauai, Maui, and Oahu, they house pretrial detainees and folks serving short-term sentences. Meanwhile, the prisons hold people serving long-term sentences with much more stable housing. That rapid turnover in the jails, it's a huge factor. It means intake screening for vulnerabilities or risks has to happen incredibly fast. You've got people constantly coming and going, making the environment super dynamic and, frankly, really tough to manage safely.
Which brings us to part 3, the Island Geography Challenge. This is the major complication in our story. Just listen to this quote, which really nails the reality on the ground. Facilities may face differences in staffing, transportation, access to specialized services, and coordination with investigators or medical providers. Think about it. When your jail system is spread out over different islands, an investigator can't just hop in a car and drive 20 minutes down the interstate. They're booking flights, coordinating incredibly limited transport, and relying on completely different sets of local resources depending on the island.
Imagine the logistical nightmare of this. PREA mandates that you have to rapidly and safely separate people the moment an allegation is made. But what if a facility on a smaller island is totally full? Or what if someone needs highly specialized medical care right that second? The Pacific Ocean literally gets in the way. It adds a massive layer of friction to every single standard the DOJ expects them to meet.
All right, so how do they handle it? Let's get into part 4, the core elements of compliance and how they break down the program.
To tackle this geographic puzzle, Hawaii relies on a continuous cycle of a few vital steps. First up, enforcing strict zero-tolerance policies. Second, providing heavy-duty education for both staff and inmates so everyone knows the rules and their rights. Third, setting up multiple, highly confidential reporting channels, so people actually feel safe speaking up. And fourth, guaranteeing a lightning-fast medical and mental health response backed by real investigations. It's a very structured approach designed so that anyone, anywhere in the system gets a professional response, no matter what island they happen to be on.
Now for part 5, more than a certificate. We're looking at a living system here.
So, how do we know this isn't all just talk? Well, look at the timeline. In the past, all the energy went into just setting up the basic policies and reporting pathways. Then, boom, a major milestone hit in September 2023 when Governor Josh Green certified the state as fully compliant with the national standards for that audit year. But, and this is key, they didn't just pack up and go home. Fast forward to July 2026, and they are actively monitoring the system, publishing annual reports, and tracking data at the facility level. Because getting a certificate, that's really just the starting line.
I really want you to take away this one critical paradigm shift. Compliance is a point in time, but safety is a continuous obligation. An audit result is literally just a snapshot of a single moment. It definitely doesn't mean a facility is magically risk-free forever. True PREA compliance is a living, breathing system. It needs daily attention. Policies get updated. New folks get trained. Every single report gets chased down, and things get fixed when they break.
Finally, let's wrap up with Part 6, Why Compliance Matters. Let's talk about the stakes.
At the end of the day, PREA compliance fundamentally protects vulnerable incarcerated individuals from real harm. It also backs up the staff, giving them crystal clear guidelines to be professionals, but maybe most importantly, it builds public trust. In a place as tight-knit as Hawaii, transparency is everything. Publicly reporting this stuff proves to the community that allegations aren't just swept under the rug. Plus, it ties right into broader oversight efforts like the Hawaii Correctional System Oversight Commission, proving that keeping people safe inside is a shared responsibility for everyone outside too. And because it's a continuing public responsibility, we always have to be looking forward. For the families, the advocates, and the pros doing the work, this is way more than legal red tape. It's about protecting human lives. So we're left with a really big question. If compliance is a living system, what's it going to take to keep it thriving tomorrow? How do training, funding, and independent oversight need to evolve to beat Hawaii's extreme geography? It's a massively complex puzzle, but when lives are literally on the line, it's one we have to solve every single day.